Coronavirus and the President of the United States. We now all know that President Trump intentionally downplayed the threat of the pandemic for months, potentially worsening the severity of this crisis. On March 19th, it's on tape. The president told journalist Bob Woodward, quote, "I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down because I don't want to create panic." For months after that, he compared the virus to a flu.
While privately noting that it is more deadly than even the more strenuous flus. And since then, the U.S. death toll from the coronavirus has risen from 265 to more than 190,000. Health experts say with stronger restrictions, many of those deaths could have been prevented. It's one of many revelations in Woodward's new book, Rage, which is published by Simon & Schuster, a division of Viacom CBS. Paula Reed is at the White House for us. She's been following this. Paula, good morning to you. How is the president responding?
Good morning. Tony, President Trump is addressing this controversy head on. Yesterday, he took questions from reporters where he defended his actions, but now he's also disparaging Bob Woodward, even though over the course of 7 months, he sat down for 18 on-the-record interviews with the legendary journalist. Woodward says he approached this assignment the same way he approached his work in Watergate. He wanted to know what the president knew and when he knew it.
On February 7th, Bob Woodward spoke to the president, who had just talked with Chinese President Xi Jinping the day before. In audio recordings obtained by the Washington Post, Mr. Trump admitted to Woodward the severity of the virus.
It goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. You know, the touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air. That's how it's passed. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. This is more deadly. This is 5 per, this is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%, so this is deadly stuff.
Our country is stronger today.
Even after acknowledging the virus was airborne, the president held at least 7 indoor rallies. And despite knowing the flu was not more deadly, Mr. Trump continued to say otherwise.
We're finding very little problem. Now, you treat this like a flu.
By downplaying the threat, Americans lost time to prepare.
We're prepared and we're doing a great job with it, and it will go away. Just stay calm. It will go away.
Then in March, Mr. Trump told Woodward the virus was a threat to younger Americans.
Now it's turning out it's not just old people, Bob. Just today and yesterday, some startling facts came out. It's not just older.
Yeah, exactly.
Young people, to plenty of young people.
But then in the following weeks, the president was urging states and schools to reopen, saying this.
We'd like to see the schools open early next season and on time. It's incredible it's very unique how the children aren't affected.
And in a shocking admission, on the same day that death toll in the United States reached 265, the president volunteered to Woodward that he was intentionally misleading the country.
Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes,
because I don't want to create a panic.
One study from May estimates that shutdown delays in the early days of the pandemic could have cost up to 54,000 lives.
We would have had a stay-at-home mandate put in place, all of which we did, and we did it about as early as any American state, but we would have done it earlier and undoubtedly would have saved lives.
But on Wednesday, the president doubled down on his decision to lie about the severity of the virus.
The fact is, I'm a cheerleader for this country. I love our country, and I don't want people to be frightened. I don't want to create panic, as you say.
Mr. Trump's Democratic rival, former Vice President Joe Biden, blasted the president.
He knew how dangerous it was. And while this deadly disease ripped through our nation, he failed to do his job on purpose. It was a life and death betrayal of the American people.
The president says he did not want to invoke fear, but throughout his campaigns and this administration, the president has repeatedly leaned into people's fears about immigration, crime, even low-income housing. Now, Woodward, who is still associated with the Washington Post, is also facing some criticism and questions about whether he should have published this evidence that the president was trying to downplay a deadly pandemic sooner. Now, Woodward responded to questions about that yesterday, saying that he wanted time to be able to vet the president's statements more thoroughly before publishing them. Anthony?
Paula, thank you.